Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Odyssey. It's Jason here, back at you with another video on XRP. So we got a bit of a different one today where we're looking at the weekly time frame, and we're also tracking this 5-wave move, an impulsive move to the upside. On the bottom we've got the RSI, and the reason why I've included that in this chart today is because when we overlay the 5-wave move onto this chart and we compare as to what it did with previous history back here, that's when things get interesting. So that's what I've got locked in for you today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm coming out with daily videos covering XRP, Bitcoin, and if you have any other cryptocurrencies that you would like me to technically analyze, then drop that in the comment section below. So we had this 5-wave move start back in 2022 in June. That's where we formed this first impulsive wave to the upside. The second wave is a corrective wave within a 5-wave impulsive move. The same with the fourth wave here. The fourth wave is also a corrective move. Now, what we are expecting based off Elliott Wave theory is that we're waiting for this fifth wave to the upside. And when we overlay it on the RSI, it works out pretty clear what we are expecting to happen. And that is echoed and re-emphasized when we look at what happened in the first bull market that XRP experienced back in its 2017 bull market. So if we look here, we have our first wave, our second corrective wave, and then our third wave, which is typically in 5-wave impulsive moves. The third wave is the most powerful wave. The third wave has to be the largest move within the impulsive structure. Same again, we have this fourth wave corrective move, and then our blow off top 5-wave. If you look at what the RSI was doing, it is very similar to what we are doing at the moment, because we had this first impulse wave to the upside. We came back down with this second wave, which is exactly what we did in July 2024. We then had the bulk of this move is when the explosion occurred, and that was at the breakout zone of the symmetrical triangle that you've seen. If I just show you here, this was a symmetrical triangle which on a massive time frame has a probability to explode to the upside, and that's also what happened in the movement that we've been tracking in this bull market as well. So once we broke out of this symmetrical triangle, that's when we had our third wave, and that was our most impulsive wave. And you can see where that took us up to here in the overbought section. That leads us on to our corrective move, which found support on the 50 level, where we are currently doing that right now. What ultimately came after that was our fifth wave, which took us back into the overbought section on our RSI, and it culminated the move, essentially. That's what we're waiting for right now. We're waiting for that fifth wave. And what the price structure is doing in the RSI is very optimistic because it's mirroring the previous setup. I do think that this fourth wave has bottomed, but there is a potential that we could W bottom out here. So what that would look like is something like this. Let me just get out my brush. So we could see this come up here and then a double bottom, so to speak. But it doesn't have to retrace that far. We could just come back down just a little bit and then form a higher low before continuing to the upside. Because this is a weekly time frame, so it's a lot more difficult to see what price action is doing in the short term, obviously. So we'll have to look on the daily quickly just to see how that would play out. So let's have a look here, and it would be still playing out these higher lows. So for example, if we track what the market is doing, you can see that we have these higher highs and higher lows forming. So we could see this low be formed here, maybe another higher high, and then we could see another higher low, or if the market does want to pull back even now or after another move to the upside, depending on how long this structure is going to play out before a direction is going to be chosen, essentially. There is the chance that we do come a little bit deeper, and as long as we hold the 1.6 level, which was the low in April 7th, that could just be another low before we continue prices to the upside. What we're seeing now, though, is the possibility that this fourth wave has bottomed, and there is the possibility that we could continue going on to the upside. It does look like it has bottomed, but whether we form a higher low on the RSI here, some kind of consolidation, a little bit of balancing before this next upside move, because that's what I'm thinking we are waiting for, a similar move to what we saw back here. Yeah, we're in that area. Obviously, we spent a little bit more time. It's difficult as to how you want to clarify it, because the first time we had two peaks in this overbought section, and we did here as well, but this one did not go as far. That's why it didn't really break out. It failed up here. We came into resistance, and ultimately we came back down. So I do think that this low is where the low is for the fourth wave, but essentially what we could do anywhere above that level is find some level of support before continuing to the upside. Now that's what I'm predicting there. Let's just jump into another chart, as I want to have a look at what price action is doing on the smaller time frame. So if we just have a look at the daily, there is the potential here for a falling wedge pattern, because we have touch points on the upper trend line and multiple touch points on this descending trend line. And this looks like it is coming out of a bullish move. And that bullish move obviously started back in April. However, this one right here is looking like it's coming off this impulsive move, which was, and it was a fast move. It was about 25%. And it looks like we're just retracing that move before continuing the structure to the upside. It's very similar to what price action was doing back here in this region, because the structure is essentially the same. We have this low coming up and down, this low coming up and down. It's very much a corrective pattern, indicating that we are to expect prices to the upside. Let's just get a fib retracement to see how the market is retracing. Let me just get rid of my drawings. We don't need them. There we go. From a high to a low. And it seems that we have lost this 0.5 level and are trying to recover it right now. Let me just make sure that this is perfectly on. Yeah. So obviously we were hoping to be finding support on this before continuing higher. Bitcoin has been making new all-time highs around 111,000, but it has pulled back a bit, and we are seeing a red day in the market. I don't think that this is anything to be worried about. I'm still very bullish on the next final wave that XRP, at least in this structure, is going to have. So I'm very bullish. None of this is financial advice. Of course, I'm just here to create entertainment videos. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just me expressing an opinion. Of course, do your own research, come up with your own strategies. That is your responsibility in order to crush this market. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.